and going to do the thing. And when I do that, it's a different level of energy. But at the beginning, it's like, oh, I don't, and I do. I will. They call it like shrink back. I will take the back seat if somebody allows me. Somebody almost has to push me to the front, or if I'm not being pushed to the front, then it's mission essential.
Yeah.
It has reached a place that goes beyond my not wanting to, my not being comfortable, all of that.
Yeah.
So yeah,
That's basically
again,
what it is.
I know more successful people that are just like that,
Yeah.
but they get it done. You be like, ooh, and they get it done.
Got to.
Yeah.
Like you say, it's a necessity. So, welcome to another episode of Bridging the Gap.
Hey.
We just start out. Sometimes I just hit record as we talking, just to get it going and just get.
Yeah.
And I know,
Yeah. I see
I know,
that.
I know this week is a very special week. So we're gonna be precise and respecting the king, and you know what I'm saying, giving him his time.
Yes.
Let him know I appreciate him letting us get this hour because he didn't have to do this. You understand me? And I would,
Honey.
if you'd have texted me and said that, I'd have definitely understood. So, just
Yeah.
the fact
Tony just said he appreciates you giving us this hour.
that, yeah. So,
Yeah, I told him it's a commitment, and that's part of 35 years and 35 years together. You understand what's important to one another, and you just don't get in the way. That's
yeah.
just what that sounded a little weird, but I don't really care.
No, I get what you're
You
saying.
allow us.
Yeah,
I allow him to do what he loves. He allows me to do what I
exactly.
love to do, and that's important. This is a commitment. So I'm not gonna, you're not gonna get the best of me if I have to. And I knew Tony. I knew I could say, Tony, I
Yeah.
can't make
Yeah.
it. But it's an hour, and I wanted to be here because of the commitment and the importance that is to our community. And committing to something and following through. And sometimes that can be, it can be tough,
Yeah. Definitely.
but
Yes.
it's so important, you
Because
know.
we live regular lives too. So life happens, and things happens, and our ups and
Yeah.
downs personally happens, and like
Hmm.
every a lot of things happens at the same time, and then you're on this mission, and then the mission in itself seems like it gets lonely, it gets this, it gets what I'm saying, like
I do.
so between life and then the mission itself, it's a lot of things that drain you. You know what I'm saying? So
Hmm.
yeah, no, I definitely get it. And that's why I love having these meetings because like people like you refuel me. You know what I'm
There
saying?
you go. That's what I was trying to say. That's
Yeah,
what I was trying to say.
yeah.
Is that when we're doing, because when this was coming up, right? It's coming up on 8 o'clock, and I'm communicating with the youth leadership camp with Breon Price, and the youth leadership camp is coming on April 16th. That's epic. You just put the word youth in there and empowering them, and I'm like, on. It's like, okay, what next? How do I support? What do I got to figure out how to really make it work. And then I'm looking at Young Brilliance. Um, Again, like I said, I think it was you. It was three of y'all. Three, I think I talked to that. 3 40-year-old young men that I talked to all in the same day that is out there doing stuff for youth, with youth, community minded. Talk about making old people happy. And so he has this big event coming up to pour into our youth, and we may, but we should not. I feel like that we should not complain if we do not take full advantage of everything that is out there and how we can support it in our own way. Um, so I was all hyped and excited about that. I sent a little flyer to my granddaughter because I'm like, you plan to have these people there. We better have some youth on deck. We better get, the young people out there and really make this something that they will never forget, because we may never, you don't know when you'll have the opportunity to reach out to a particular youth again. So on April 16th, I have to put, hey, what influence, what weight do I have? Who do I know? How do I impact getting young people to the spot? Because the young brother already has people who are coming to pour into them. And I'm like, oh yeah, it's on, it's on. So
I just I just heard about that a couple of days ago. Me and Ban was talking about it today. I was telling
awesome.
I was telling him I was thinking about getting a, vendor, and he was talking about speaking or something. So
Uh-huh.
I told him that we can go up there together, and because he gonna be on the board or he gonna be on something anyway.
Okay.
As the CEO Youth League, because we gonna the I'm Possible and the CEO Youth League. I'm Possible gonna kind of be like the high school version of the CEO Youth League as they get
Okay.
older, and you know what I'm saying?
Awesome.
Yeah, because he focused more on the teens, you know. So
Okay.
we're gonna kind of make that work because I mess with it all. Like like
Yeah.
if
Yes.
you're a black human being or you're a human being, but it's particularly a black human being, I'm trying to deal with you.
Yes.
I talk to you,
Yes.
get 30 before I don't care. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
But that's the way we trying to build that, and he was just talking about speaking, but he was like, "Yeah, I think you got to be a vendor to speak or something like that." And I was like,
I
"Okay,
don't know. I
yeah."
don't. I don't know if that's
That's
the
what he said he
case.
was told. So I just told him, "Well, I want to get a vendor. We go together, and you just speak." He said, "Well, I don't want to speak for my stuff because
Hmm.
I ain't got nothing, going
Well,
on."
I
So
have a spot. I
yeah,
have a spot. I'm a vendor because that was the way that it was promoted. How you can just based on the flyer,
yeah,
or in the message on the wording on the post was that that was the way you can support us by being a vendor. I
yeah.
didn't see anything that says that I vend and I have to speak. So if vending has a speaking tied on to it, then you can whoever y'all can have my speaking spot, because that's not what I signed up. I'm just trying to support the event. I do have, very important information that I want to share with parents and young people alike. They got to have this financial game. They got to know this financial literacy and how it impacts them. And then parents need to know that too. So I have resources that will empower the parents, the kids. I was at one of our big events. And there was an 18-year-old on that stage, had just signed up and is, licensed and getting ready to sell this insurance. I found where the money resides. You don't have to have a college degree. It helps people. It leverages us. I only came out of retirement because I see the up. And not the up necessarily for me. I see where I messed up and an opportunity for me to do a little fixing up in the next maybe 3 to 5 years. But why wouldn't I get it? Why wouldn't I get that game to my people? I don't understand that. I don't understand why I didn't know. Why nobody really and so I'm gonna run head for head. Some gonna have to stop me. Some got to, if it don't block me, we going all the way in and getting everything we came for. Period.
Oh yeah, that's what we.
That's what it's about.
Yeah.
So that's why I signed up to VN because I have something to offer.
Yeah, and
Okay.
that's what I was signing up for. I wasn't even signing up to speak. I mean, you know what I'm saying? So that wasn't even why I was even thinking about signing up. We just happened to talk about it, and that's the conversation that came out. He was thinking about
Uh,
speaking, and I was thinking about vending. And I was like, okay, well, just come with me, and you just speak in the name of the CEO.
right.
You speak in the name of the CEO Youth League. I'll be at the table with my flyers, my this and that, and doing what I want to do. I just want to talk to the people and stuff. You know what I'm
There
saying?
you go. There you go. There
So
you
we
go.
don't. I said all that to just say that we are going to support that, and I'm gonna I'm gonna get with old boy probably like in the next day or two because
Awesome.
I got his number. He had gave out his number publicly and just said just hit me personally. So uh,
Yeah. And then you was with another one of the powerhouses of the community. AJ Holmes came in here he came in here putting in the work.
oh
He he works with my youngest son. And so the impact that we have on the lives of one another, I mean, just choosing to be great, choosing to do what you do, choosing the sacrifices you make, and other young brothers like you and young sisters like you. I love it because I do see more. I see a lot of males, taking charge, taking lead, and doing things for the kids. And then, of course, we have Boys Matter to Men with Sister Elizabeth, Dr. Elizabeth, and but the impact. So that's my son. You see what I'm saying? I can only reach this far.
yeah,
I only got what I got, but the young brother from HA Homes, he worked with my son. You know, and been patient. He had an appointment with him, and my son had to cancel it because his mama had to take a little time off. I mean, we had to come and celebrate and stuff.
Yeah.
And he had to cancel it because he had to get his son to the swimming. But that's a powerhouse. So just know that what you're doing is important. You are connecting with people who we need to be connected with. You know what I'm saying? And I like to say is together we're much better. Period. And then we have to keep that, keep that, keep that. So I'm excited, excited, excited. I was like, oh man,
Oh
fire! There
yeah,
it
yeah.
is, there it is. They followed in line.
Yeah,
I love it.
we met about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and we met at the conference at one of his locations in
I
Killeen.
saw you there. I
And we just
did.
after it was over, it was just me and him, and we talked for like an hour and a half. You know what I'm saying?
Did
And
you?
like I'm talking about, we cut off the lights and everything in the building together. And I was like, so we just locked in, and I just gave him, you know how I do, give him the vision,
Yeah.
and like, okay,
Yeah.
we seen where we can make it 10x real fast. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
I know y'all know. I ain't tripping. I know y'all know.
yeah, so
Next.
we had our meeting. My mom was there, my brother was there,
Oh,
and so some of the family. I knew everybody wasn't gonna be able to make it because it was like I said, it was really just me and him just going ahead and making it official. But he just wanted to meet some of the team, so it wasn't nothing like it wasn't nothing like that.
it's all good.
Like I told him, we're gonna have an official event or something, and I don't want to talk too soon, but I might have some great.
No.
I might have some great. Well, I got a lot of great news coming, but one particular is about the summer camp, and it
Yes.
might be something special with a sponsor. So I'm gonna just wait until it's official. But
Okay.
if I get a sponsor, it's gonna be a number of kids that don't have to pay it out.
Awesome.
So
That's the way as it should be.
as it should be. So
As it should be.
we work in May. May lining up. We got the events. I'm gonna pump out a bunch of flyers. I'm about to introduce more of the team. I'm introduce you, and we're gonna have us an open house. Maybe when I get everybody, maybe sometime in May or something. When right before the summer camp, have an open house, table set up, different things that we're gonna be teaching, what we're about, and let the public
Okay.
come out and see, something like that.
Okay.
And we got a lot in store.
I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm
Yeah,
excited. I am excited to
but
see. Yes, to do, to
yes.
be a part of.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. Well, and that's kind of what we coming today about
Yeah.
the gap, and it goes both ways because you see the energy we talking about is great. Why? Because it's like-minded people, and it's energy that's bouncing off each other. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying?
Yes.
It's not nothing that somebody blocking or the energy that person come in the room and the energy changes, and you know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
that energy is real and it's organic, and that's the energy that really moves mountains. You know what I'm saying?
You been watching the mountains moving around, huh?
Yeah, so
Yep.
that's important. And when we talk about bridging the gap, of course we're not gonna always agree. We don't supposed to always agree. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
the energy should be the same, even if we disagree on a certain.
When we don't.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because at the end of the day, if the energy is the same, that means we still going after the same mission. We just think it's a different way to get there. And maybe it's gonna be
Exactly.
taking a little proven, or somebody got to show a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes it's
Yeah.
gonna be that. Sometimes it's gonna be great ideas, and we're gonna have to test both of them and see which one works the best. It's gonna be that type of
Yeah.
stuff.
And what
So
harm is there in that? None.
so
But it is a harm in being closed-minded
that's the killer,
when we shut it down.
because you handicap
Yeah.
yourself, and we at war. You never supposed to handicap yourself when you're at war. And
Exactly.
we do that a lot because we're this the way I think, this the way I am, this the way I was raised, point blank, period. But what if that way is a failing strategy when it comes to war that we're fighting as a society? What if,
Mm.
like if that's like I talk about my mom all the time, and I love my mom, and my mom has changed a lot because she's been and she's changed even more now. Like, she started talking about, I got such and such in the 401. What if I do this now? Now, after all these years, she ready to invest something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
so
I hope her 401's not taking them hits though right now. You got to protect
and
the money.
that's what I've been telling her for years. Like, I can show you what to do way more than that 401. You can make your own
Yeah.
401 and be in control of it and know exactly
Yeah.
so That neither here nor there. But the fact that we can believe something, think something, and like I posted some weeks back, I go with the truth. So even if I wholeheartedly believe something, and you come to the table and you show me something, and it's just a fact, I gotta roll with it. I can't, and a lot of us will stay stuck in, well, whatever, but I believe in that. And we try to make the fact the opinion instead of your opinion being not a non-fact. Like I actually get a conversation where people will make their opinion the fact and my fact an opinion. And it's because of the ego, it's because of the pride of, well, I've been taught this since I was born. Okay, but what if you've been taught something from birth that's a lie?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
that's not right, or like we have to accept that, and the parents have to be accepted to, maybe I did pass on a lot, maybe I did, but that was taught to me. It wasn't purposely. And that's the conversation that me and my mom have, and that's why she has changed, because she used to get offensive the way I talk because it felt like I was going at her, but I was just talking about the way that we are as a society, not particularly her. She taught me what grandma taught her. Grandma taught her what great grandma taught her. We just didn't have a line of people that was Black Panthers or deep thinkers. Or that ain't your fault. You was passed on information, and then the people that was born in her era, they was born coming up seeing what Malcolm get killed, Martin get killed. So when they start having little boys, the first thing they do is teach them how to be submissive, because they don't want the system to kill them. So you start teaching me how to bow down and be submissive and be scared and be this and that, for the hope that I won't get killed. But you don't know what that does to me as a man as I come up. It puts me in a world that I'm not ready for. I'm not fit for. I don't understand. I go crazy in. I'm losing my mind in, because I'm like, what is this?
Yeah.
So the fact that she's opening and she's seeing it and she's like, oh wow, she hit me like, I see what you said about this and about men getting raised by single mothers and how that makes them think and act as a man, and like she just, like, it's nothing against you, it's just what it is. So as a people, if we start understanding that it's not, even if I tell you something you believe, it's not nothing against you if it's a fact. It's something you have to deal with, like, okay, well, I didn't see it like that, I never thought about it like that, but I mean, I can't argue with a fact. That's, whatever. So what do you think about that, though? Like, just when you bridging the gap, it has to go both ways, but sometimes it can't. It's hard to go both ways because, like I just said, some people opinions that they've been birthed with, they've been birthed knowing, they just roll with as a fact. And if you giving them a fact that they telling you as an opinion, what do you do in that moment? How do you bridge a gap when it's not reciprocal, when it's not going to go both ways because of the mentality?
I think for me, it's just respecting where that person is and even where you are at the time. So this is my truth. And because this is my truth, in order for me to move from my truth, something greater than myself has to move me in the direction of more truth. As in, while I believe what I believe, that's all I know. Okay. And for me, how did I come to know that? Then it's going to take a force, a power beyond us. So I would say it could be a child that may be able to get it through to you. You may have shared it, this is truth, and it's truth, but it's not a truth that someone is willing to consider at this time.
Yeah.
So you say, and I think we've talked about this before, they'll come around, like, they'll get it, just not right now. I might not be the one. Something else might need to happen. Something else will happen. You know what I mean? That will get them there. It doesn't change what truth is. It is true. The outcome, single parent, there is some outcomes that are not as positive as we want with single parenting, females and males. That's what I was thinking. I have two cousins that raised their daughters, so they were single males raising their daughters. So so they those daughters got a different than a someone who had was raised by their mom and all of that. And we need both of those energy, male and female energy. And I think when we come to the table with I did all I knew to do. If I neglected, then I have to own up and say I neglected some things. If I knew to do better and just didn't, you know what I'm saying? If I knew, I could see I'm losing this child. What I need to do something different. And then I just kept going and didn't even try or change. That's a whole nother concept. But still pride would get in the way. Because one of my things like in the community is when our babies are we know there's somebody who knows that child is struggling. There's somebody that knows that child is leaving out the house at night and doing whatever, whatever. And y'all keep, they don't say anything.
Yeah.
They don't tell that person that even that person they know. If she know, she gonna put a stop to it.
Quick.
If she know, you know what I'm saying. So, uh, yeah. But that's what we do. We have to recognize when we were in those places before, we have to look for those spaces in our own lives to say, hey, what is this thing I'm holding on so tightly to? And is there more? Do I have a full understanding? Because maybe you have some understanding, and there's a greater understanding that you'll come into.
Yeah.
And just because somebody isn't where you are doesn't mean that they cannot get to where you are or
Yeah.
to that understanding of what is your truth.
Mm-hmm.
And that our truths are developed by our experiences, what we've been exposed to, the knowledge that's been, dropped on us, in us, and around us, and whether or not we picked it up, ran with it, or looked at it and spit on it.
Yeah. And that's why I always stick to solutions because that gets out of the opinions because it does, we gotta if we're talking about fixing something, it doesn't the fixing gonna take whatever it's gonna take. It doesn't matter
Yeah.
about but what we feel that's a fact of opinion. So it's more of an action thing, so it keeps you busy instead of the back and forth because the back and forth becomes like who thinks they know the most, who think, and that's more ego bound. That's pointless at that point, it's pointless. So
Mm-hmm.
when we stick to the solutions, even if it's going back and forth, we're still going towards a direction that's gonna
Mm-hmm.
what fixes it then. So
Yes.
then your point has to prove to the other point because no matter what, the solution needs to be achieved.
Right.
And that's
And
why I
so you
still
were talking. Yeah. So when you were talking earlier, and you was like, you have to do it afraid. A lot of times I'm afraid, right? So think about the people that you're talking to. That the things that you say, if it's scary to you, it's probably scary to them too. And we all have this fear of failure. But even with the fear of failure, you might can say to somebody, what is the cost of not trying? The cost of not putting the effort in, the cost of throwing in the towel, the cost of saying, oh, it's always going to be that way. That's more costly than to say, no, hey, we here and we need to figure out how to make something happen. And there's a like you have mentioned, there's a fear factor, and there's something in us that has to be greater than that fear. And oftentimes, like I say, it's the need in our community. It's our desire for something better for those that are coming behind us. Okay. And then at the same time, it's a look forward to what we owe to those that went before us. They paid. What make us think we don't have to pay?
yeah. And they pay
What make us think?
they pay
What
with
make us think? And what make us think we might not have to pay with ours?
yeah,
Ours.
yeah,
And oftentimes, if you're not willing to pay with your life, you don't get very far. And when you say your life, it don't necessarily mean that you're going to leave here. It just simply means that you're not going to live for pleasure only. That you're willing to put in the work and foresee some of that. I'm gonna give up some of this time that I could be doing this thing so that I can do the thing that is going to impact life for others. It's when we're not, being just totally selfish.
Yeah.
And if it don't affect me, mm-mm.
It affects you when you think it don't affect you. That's the point I be trying to get to people. Like I get
Right.
everybody. You has to take care of your home first. That's common sense. So I don't even care. When people say that, that doesn't even make sense. But your home and your roof and your family is still in the community. So if you can have your home in the best shape in the world, but if your community tore down, what are you still in the midst of? So you're only worried about your home and not worried about anything that goes on around your home. But that's counterproductive to me.
I think you have, and hopefully I'm wrong, but there's many or too many, even if there is one that doesn't understand that you got to take care of home,
Yeah,
that you have to take care of the children that you birth. That responsibility is there, and it is yours. And when you don't, then yeah, the community got to, and the family and everybody else got to put in that extra. And nobody, I don't know how many people want to, really own up to asking people to handle their business.
yeah.
And you don't get a pass. You don't smile and grin in my face
Nah, we
if
don't.
if you got a household that's in a shambles.
Yeah, I tell people all the time when they talk about bad kids. I say I don't. I talk to a lot of
Don't.
kids. I don't do bad. I don't say bad kids. Why we never hear the bad parenting part? And it's some
Hmm.
parents. It's sometimes you can parent great and still end up with kids that go wrong. But I'm talking about like I got a chapter in my book talking about parents raising thugs. I'm talking about parents that actually raise their kids to be thugs. It's different than you raising your kids
Yeah.
this way and they turn out a certain way. That can happen. That's that your kid gonna always end up the way they want to go. All you can do is try to relate a foundation the best you can do. Everybody knows
Hmm.
that. So it's not, but I'm talking about the ones that you can see visually on social media in everyday life, raising their kids to be this. And then
Hmm.
they're crying when they get shot or they doing this. I see it every day. And it's sad, but it's like, but 2 weeks ago you was with him talking about your such and such son that thugged out, and now this week you're sad because he's in the hospital shot. Yes, it's sad, but it was sad last week when I seen you posting that other stuff and you thought it was cute, you know.
Right.
But if
Right.
you say something like that, no, you judging. Yes, I am, because for us to raise the standards, we got to say that that's dumb. Like for
Right.
that not to be shamed in our community is a problem within itself. Like, why are you
Hmm.
raised? If your kid turns out to go to the streets, okay, my mom, she didn't want me in those streets. Even when I was
Hmm.
in the streets, though, I was never no robbing. Like I wasn't that guy. I was the guy that was a little around, a little rebel that wanted to get some money. You know what I'm saying? But
Hmm.
the harm people, fighting, robbing, stealing, like that ain't never been me. But I'm talking about the parents that do raise their kids to be. I know parents that gang bang with their kids, that smoke and do all this stuff with. Like my mom, she didn't approve it, but me and my mom didn't never do that together. Like I lived that world, and she was in this world praying and hoping and all that. So that's my problem with when I see that part. So that's what I got to fight against, because them the kids that I run into, but then I go to this and it's like, I'm like a bigger version of the kid, basically. Like, nah,
Yeah.
my kid gonna be the
So
gangster. My kid gonna be this. My kid gonna be that. I'm like, okay, all right. These kids
so
are
what do you?
13 years old, tatted up already with the parents' approval.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know what came to mind was what about people who don't know what you're saying is truth? I know that that those are truths, and so probably the way they look at some young people would be different. I really can't fit my mind wrap my mind all the way around it because I've had different experiences. But we're going into the juvenile, I hear exactly what you're saying. So when you say to me, there are parents that are doing these things with the kids, and that's really how they're pumped up, and I say, oh my God, I went into the juvenile with my little blind self, and I'm saying to these kids, "Oh, you can do it," and they go back home and they like, "Yeah, I'm gonna do what my mom and them do. I'm gonna do what Uncle and them do. It was Uncle that slid that on me. My first time was with, you know what I'm saying? This brokenness, but I say the brokenness is still within family settings, and I say that there's some awareness there, but there is not yet a level of compassion for one another that reaches the places. And I don't think they can do it alone. I think you need community because sometimes family they just not gonna respect family. But if you can get family, community, and working on more than one front, maybe family will work for some, but some might need family and some community support. They, you know what I'm saying? So she can't tell me nothing cause da 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 da. But somebody else who's had a different experience that's willing to try to help rescue. I think we wrap it back around to possibly, probably economics.
Yeah, it always goes back
You
to
know,
economics.
it comes wealth is gangster.
Yeah.
Just like in your book, understand that this is about economics. And so, if somebody is out there, I don't know, just kind of, I don't think tattoos are cheap.
Oh
I
yeah,
don't think.
in the part in the tattoo parlor, no, they're not. But in the streets, you can get them from the homie that's just learning.
Oh, okay, just get them from the homie that's learning. Okay,
Or
I don't know.
yeah, yeah. It's people that just learn in the streets that'll tattoo up.
Okay, they just practicing. You ain't practicing on me, so I don't know. I can't.
Yeah, I gotta go to a
Um,
professional, go and pay that fee,
no,
right?
I'm not paying anything. I remember we bridging the gap. Hey, anything you should see my granddaughter, she write on her hand, and I be like, "Girl, anything you put on your skin goes directly into your blood system. You stop it. You don't write on your."
Yeah, no, for real.
So, but
Nah,
it was some Facebook post that had me almost thinking. I was like,
oh, my
that
cousin
was
when he had a picture of his brother tattooed on his arm. I seen you.
yes, yes. I was like, I almost thought about maybe.
Nah, my cousin, he nice with it. It looked like he actually drew it on a piece of paper or something.
Uh,
I used to. I got a couple tattoos. I haven't got a tattoo since I was probably about, I don't know, like 20 something. And I used to say, man, I'm gonna be tatted up, this and that. And I got a
uh-huh,
couple, and that's the last thing I think about. I haven't thought about a tattoo in
yes,
like 15, 20. I don't even I just don't. But I used to tell myself,
yes.
I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna have this. Like that's the last thing. I don't know. I just grew out of love with it quick. I guess I don't like needles though, so I guess that's what it is.
Well, yeah, I'm not much into needles and pain myself. But yeah, yeah. I think being too one-sided. I think that's what being vision app goes one way and being too one-sided.
Yeah.
I think it is important to find that middle. But my question was, aren't there some things that you really have to take a stand on? And maybe how do we, is there middle ground in some things? There's some things that there just aren't. We one-sided on this one.
Yeah.
This is how, and is it our own constitution, how we're made up? And then do we bridge the gap by respecting someone else's constitution?
And I think that's what I was asking because that's where we be stuck at, and like I say,
Hmm.
even if whatever, however we feel about it, if it's a good stance or not, we all have our stances. So
Hmm.
even in that, if you have understanding, that's why I always talk about lead with respect because this is my stance. I'm not gonna see it the way and I got a lot of those that I just like I told you I was in a meeting that I had a stance. I didn't agree with none of that, but I was still in there respectful, listening, trying to understand their points of view and where they come from. So if we get
Hmm.
into that, then it won't get into a personal back and forth, mean spirited whole thing. It can stay lighthearted, even though like, all right, man, y'all cool, man. Hey, I hope things work out. But I ain't doing none
Yeah.
of that stuff with y'all. Like, you know what I'm saying?
And
Like,
as long as they respect that,
yeah,
your
yeah.
constitution, he don't agree with us, so he not gonna,
But they
and
gonna
that's
see it
okay.
as, oh, but he a good person. He's really for the community. Really this. They not gonna get
Yes,
an attitude like, man, forget y'all. Y'all dumb. Y'all stupid. Y'all don't know what y'all doing. You know what I'm saying? Like, even if I
yes.
feel like that on certain issues, I won't put that out because I don't want to put bad energy out. You know.
There you go. There
And
you go.
I was at the table. I don't agree with what's going on, but I'm here to listen and respect y'all points of view. So I'm just here to listen. Nice to meet y'all though. That's a way to
Yes.
let you know that, man, I ain't really fooling with y'all at all, but it's all love. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
you got
Yeah.
So and they know, but a lot of them want to meet me afterwards and respected me because they what? Because of my stance. People respect your stance, even if they don't agree with you. You know,
Hmm.
like
But
people
they respect. I think they respected your approach. So
and
let's
just
say we have,
in the realness of it. Like, you know,
yeah, but your approach.
yeah.
How many people will actually have the courage to stand in a room of people that they do not agree with and say to them, I don't really agree with a lot of what y'all just said. Some people would take it personal, but you had the courage to say it, where others would just sit and be quiet and never come back. And then how are they connecting? You can't connect. So I like your approach, and I would like to, be able to steal your approach.
Yeah.
I might be sitting here, and instead of dancing around it and pity patting, and no, I don't agree with a lot of what's been said here. Not attacking anyone. So I think even last week when I was talking about, or that communication, it's our choice of words that's important. And then now what I'm hearing is how we present those words, the courage that it takes for you to say, I don't agree with a bunch of what y'all saying, but I'm trying to get to the solution with y'all. You know,
Yeah.
it's okay. But now you know where I stand. I stand on solution based. If y'all come up with something that I can join in with, I'm gonna join in with it. But right now I'm not hearing it.
Yeah.
And then a lot of times, like you said, solution based, I really don't agree with a lot of what y'all saying. Here is something that I would like for y'all to consider.
Yeah.
Y'all can consider it. I'm not gonna be mad at y'all, but I'm bringing a solution to the table at the same time. So I really like that level of honesty, that level of courage, and then for the people that were able to come to you later, it shows a level of maturity in them. The other ones probably took offense.
Oh yeah.
He
Yeah.
don't, he don't like what I said. He can just go fly a
Yeah.
kite, will you?
But it's cool. But even those people still respect what that I had a stance.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
you get the respect, even if the people that don't like you or can't stand you for it, they still respect you because of what you're saying. Like I got a couple homeboys, right? It's the weirdest
Hmm.
relationship ever. Like over 20 years, white guy, rebel
Uh-huh.
rebel flag on the belt buckle, rebel flag hanging in front of his house. Like I've been
Hmm.
messing with it forever. Like I said, man, it don't bother me because to do business, we have to do business with KKK members and all that. He take offense to that when I say that, but I be really
Uh-huh.
truly showing him that, oh man, forget the Democrats. I was like, yeah, you're right. Forget them and the Republicans. You can't pin me in that corner because I don't mess with none of them. So like we had that
Right,
type
right.
of relationship, but he can't pin me down like he can most quote unquote black people because
There you go.
I don't stand in that box. Like you can't come at me
Yeah.
with get the Democrats. I don't care. You can't come at me with this about religion or this and that because I love everybody for whatever they stance is on that. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
You can't come in
Yes.
with those typical things that have most of my people in a box because we staunch believers in whatever we believe. Nah, I'm not
Hmm.
that guy. So we over the last
Yeah.
couple decades we didn't grew, and I still mess with him. I'm gonna post one of his pictures because he be donate money, right? But in his
Okay.
picture on Cash App, it's a rebel flag behind him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's funny that a guy like that believes what he believes, love his people, but he loved that I believe what I believe and love my people.
Okay.
That reminds me of like what Malcolm said when he met with the KKK members. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Like they have mutual
Hmm.
respect because hey, they want to separate from us. We want to separate from them. They, like you actually respect people that really about that life and really stand on what they stand on. It's easier to
So
respect.
that's what it is.
Yeah,
Yeah, I like that. People who stand on what they stand on.
yeah,
And so oftentimes with Trump, that's one thing that I hear a lot of people say. He open with it. He's very transparent. He and so the other ones aren't that way. So I would say yes, I respect somebody who just out now tell you who they are.
yeah,
Some people will show you who they are, and you either believe or you don't. If you continue to think, "Oh, I want this, I want that, I want to," in your mind, you ain't really like that rebel flag don't mean nothing. But that rebel flag means something. It mean you come for their guns, they gonna come for you.
yeah,
It means something. Play if you want to.
yeah,
That's the truth. Okay, the truth is who people say they are,
yeah,
and
yeah.
if they're bold enough to stand on what they say they are, then you respect that and move accordingly.
Yeah.
Mm,
That's exactly how
yeah,
and so
yeah, and so yeah,
And we need
But
to adapt that. And that's what I was telling them at that same meeting about being strategic in this, right? What we doing, we have to be strategic. We can't, I get it. We're taught to be, and we don't want to be like them, but we have to
right,
understand we have to, this is a game. And until we understand that, it's a big monopoly game. It's real life. Like you said, it's life or death, and
right.
it's rich and poor. Like it's real situations, but
Mhm.
it's a chess game or whatever type of game you want to call it. That it's winners and losers.
It
And
is.
if you don't understand that and you want to be, well, no, I don't care. Okay, you can't fight a system or fight against an opponent that's doing everything, that's twisting, you know what I'm saying? That's cheating, that's stealing, that's robbing. You can't do that on your moral high ground that you go, okay, well, stay morally high, but you're gonna be at the bottom forever. And that's kind of like our mindset. We're so stuck into what we believe is not right, is this and that. Okay, I don't want to hear I think I told you before, my mom always talk about fair. She has never said that word again since I told her fair is where you can go see a pig at. Because she
You never
always,
told me that. You
yeah,
never told me that. You
and
never told me that.
she hasn't said anything about life not being fair since. you
No,
know, but
and
it's
I
real.
didn't know. That's
It's real. It's real. We
no,
this
it's real.
yeah.
And I set my boys up, my children up for failure because I told they was fighting. They was out there fighting for fair, not understanding it wasn't fair. You have to fight for what's yours.
Yeah.
You have to know what's yours. You have to know who you are, and you have to know your worth, and then you go get what's yours.
Mhm.
I
Exactly.
don't know about fair,
Mhm.
but I thought it was. And I must have gotten it from my mom or my daddy or somewhere to think that life was supposed to be fair. So
Yeah.
I couldn't give to my children what I didn't get.
Yeah. For
It
sure.
ain't fair, but and I could see myself sitting in front of some school administrator talking about that ain't fair. Life ain't fair, but
Ah,
I didn't learn that until
it is
a
true.
lot later.
Yeah.
I didn't learn the value
Mhm.
of understanding that life isn't fair.
Yeah.
So I'm playing the game the way I was taught to play the game. You got to be two times better. You grade everything, to compete. And you have to do all of this. And then it came around to a world where that didn't even matter. It was just simply who you know and what you're willing to do. And if you're willing to go along and get along, I want to bring this up for this week. We had a principal. She got our last name. Honey, he right there. But she got Gina Brown, principal over at Chaparral High School. What
Yeah.
she doing with our name? But anyway, uh, she I have to stay focused. Stay focused. Anyway, she used the term thug. She called the kids who she the principal over that they was also it's thug deal over here. It's even the cheerleaders are thuggy. That's not our babies,
Yeah.
okay? And this woman, this white woman, thought that would be cool. Then there was a black guy she was communicating with. I'm gonna say dark skin because I don't know. Maybe he black, maybe he not black. I don't know. And then with black, it's about blackness. It's about how well you will incorporate yourself into their life, right? And so when I'm talking about uh playing by the rules, these people weren't playing by the rules. Where she came from? What is her history? How did she get in the district, and how did she get that position of the brand new prettiest high school uh, that we have? Right? How she got that position? And then the guy who's black that's was communicating with her, and he posted some pictures of some cheerleaders to make fun. Are they like these? And I think it was from maybe some movie or something where some prisoners were dressed up like cheerleaders. Well, then I dig a little bit. This guy just got his teacher's license in the state of Texas in 2020. He got a PE, special ed, and health, and a principal certification all at the same time. And he is in a position of assistant principal at this high school within 2 years. But I'm playing by the rules. Do a good job, do your work, follow, don't meet the deadlines, da 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 da. Mm-mm. That ain't the way it works. So I cannot, because of my experience, I can't say to any child.
Yeah.
to oh it's fair. No, it's not fair.
Right.
This is what you have to do. We got to build our own. So you got some choices. You got to learn how to play in their playground, or you got to build your own
Yeah.
playground.
We
I'm
do.
advocating for your own playground because
Yeah.
it's what you're gonna learn and what you're gonna experience over there isn't going to be worth it. It's really not worth it.
J-
Those that can do, those that can't, we need to build.
in most like, and even of the builders like me, I have got better and still learning, about
Still learning.
how to, because I'm more of a builder. So I'll be like, man, forget all that. But at the same time, I still got to refer to them, because before I can start a business, I got to go get everything I do.
You gotta
I
get it.
still got to go get paperwork from them. I got to get their
Yes,
permission. I got to get their, I got to get an
yes,
LLC. I still got to
yes.
go to the system to build it. So what I have learned, instead of like, and that's where I've got better at, because I was so, man, forget all that, like, and that's why, like, I never did the credit thing. That's why I never did bank loans, and because I was like, I don't want to deal with that system anyway. But what that's a great mindset to have, but it's better if it's balanced, because like
Balance.
I
I
have
like
obtained
it.
property. I have obtained. I got a lot for a person that don't use none of that, because everybody I know, that's the game they play. But I
Right.
don't know nobody that own multiple properties. I don't know nobody that's in a lot of different investments. You know what I'm saying? And never played that game. Like
Okay.
I'm like the alien when it comes to that. But at the same time, I'm learning. Like you say, like yesterday, the big meeting
Still
yesterday.
learning.
I'm learning that what I got now could be 10x if I learn how
Yes.
to play that game with what I do already. It's not saying stop
Got it.
what I
Got
do.
it.
Learn how to
Nope.
within that game that comes over here and funds this 10 times over.
There you go. There
And,
you go.
yeah,
I get it. I get it. I get it. I get it.
yeah, yeah.
And and I see it as us bringing it to us instead of us keeping it to ourselves. That's the power. There was a time when we had no choice. It was only we could only deal with one another. Then all of a sudden we were able to mix with other people. And then other people started running everything. And now we're dependent on them. And we have to go back and we have to utilize that system to fund this
Run this
system,
one.
to fund this one. It does and but if we move as individuals and not as a collective, it's not gonna happen.
No, it has to be collective. It has to be like, just for instance, the Negro League, right? When they canceled that to go get paychecks, just think about that and kept that league right now be worth. It'll be bigger than the NFL, because everybody gonna come watch us play wherever we at. Everybody gonna
Mhm.
come. It'll be bigger than the NFL, but we have ownership. We would own the
Mhm.
league. That's the difference. We gave up a job, and though like the Chicago Bears in the 1940s,
Ownership for a job. Yep.
and that's what we still do. We still do that. Like,
Yeah.
we have a mindset that, and forget what you're talking about. I get a paycheck every Friday, every other Friday. Like, that's really, and I see that in people that's trying to be entrepreneurs. They still, it's like it's a big wall that they can't get over. So like
Mhm.
me, they look at me crazy,
True.
like, man, like, when the last time, like, it's been, I don't even remember, like, it's been over 10 plus years. I don't even remember the last job I had. But even when I had those jobs, I didn't care about, like, I'm 40. I probably had like 4 jobs my whole life. Like,
Yeah.
I always had that spirit that I'm gonna own this. Well, I'm gonna own this. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do everything
Mhm.
outside of the system. But I did it in a closed mind that kept me from really succeeding where I could have been. Like, even when I was in the
Timing.
street, I couldn't get, when I had clothing stores, I had chicken restaurant, I had different things, but I was still with a foot in the streets. So I couldn't really take that to the next level, because I was still thinking about in this small pond. I wasn't thinking about the sea.
Yes.
But I'm winning in this small pond in my quote unquote world of winning.
Yes.
So it
Mhm.
is independent of the system. So I'm like, okay, forget it. I'd rather have this. And I tell people all
Mhm.
the time, like, my mentors, Dr. Boyce, Tariq, these are millionaires. These are millionaires. These men probably worth 10, 15, 20 million, whatever, independently. I'd rather have that they can't be blackballed or white, whatever you want to call it. They can't, because all their money come from their people. But a person like let's just say like a LeBron does a lot, but let's just say a LeBron got to walk a tightrope, because at the any moment the system that's built him up can take him out. Like, because
Right.
he got $1 billion contract, but that's over his lifespan. He's
Mm-hmm.
gonna make Nike $1 billion probably within the next 2-3 years. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't, but that's neither here nor there. My whole thing is, what about like if a LeBron, a Kevin Durant, about 10 of the top NBA players or 10 of the top NFL players came together and put together 10, 20, $50 million and start their own league?
They're gonna have to lock into Mindset Mondays to make that happen.
Yeah, but
Got
I'm
to be
just
a
saying,
whole other mindset for
but,
that.
and I ain't even talking
I
about
get what you're saying.
talking about them per se. I'm talking about the youth that we deal with now. If we inspire, if we build them up, we build up the LeBron that thinks like has some of the similar mindsets that we have,
Hmm.
but he's in a LeBron body. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
He will be ready for that type of change. He will be like, you know what? I'm going to run up in here, give me a $500 million contract, and I'm going to start this. I'm going to start that.
Hmm. So when I think about, or I was listening to what you said, and what I'm thinking is, uh, not only do they come to see us play, but we put a lot of money into that industry ourselves. Remember, we are the biggest spenders.
Yeah.
And so I believe that if we build something, whether it could be, locally, it could be statewide, it could be, we can still build something where the money that you were putting over here, I don't know though, they die hard fans and stuff. But if it's our babies, and if we build it the right way,
Yeah.
if we get the cash to flow over here, and if we do with the cash what needs to be done. So when we give our money to them, they're doing what they need to do to establish their base, their family, their stronghold on this economy, right? And we have sporting entertainment, or our own leagues and things like that, where we're not running up to get the money to the Dallas Cowboys or the San Antonio Spurs, or and we're putting that money here, and then that money is generating something of value that we can see that benefits us, which it is very much difficult right now, but not impossible. We have to start somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is just, it won't be totally disconnected from the current power structure,
Mm-hmm.
but it would definitely strengthen our footing. Without that economic base, you can't, like Dr. Claude Anderson, you can't get that foundation, you can't get that politician that's gonna go and advocate for your rights, because what you got to offer? And it's not that you have to pay off a politician, but the politician is in a room where the system says the money is coming in over here and the money is coming over here. But you ain't got none. I'm listening to them too, and you is shut down because you don't have an economic base. You can't disrupt the system at all.
Yeah.
But we can. That's the other thing from last week that I didn't mention. We got like 8 minutes,
Yeah.
7. But down in Florida, the NAACP guys say they're gonna ban black people from Florida. I think they twisted the way they put it. Was
Yeah.
I would have used different terms.
Telling people not to come to Florida because of the laws and stuff. He was telling. We said we spent a lot of money coming into that state. Don't come and boycott it because of the laws that they're about to pass or not
But they
trying.
didn't use that term. They didn't use the term boycott. But
Yeah.
I get exactly what he was saying, and he was saying it from his experience, right? And some of us don't want to. Can you still hear me? Okay. Okay. So some of us don't want to we don't want to upset anybody. But economically, we have the power to really shut things down, but we have to do it as collective. Yeah. I mean, if DeSantis is down there acting a fool about CRT and whatever else and whatever, stop going. Take a weekend, and let them feel the impact. We run the economy with our spending, but we don't know where are we, and we won't do what's necessary to make an impact in that area.
And I hear what you're saying. That right there is why we have to have a tax, not a tax, but this mindset based starting in communities. because
Yes.
what you're asking people to do is a mindset that they don't have. Because where they come from, what they talking about doing? What, man? I'm going to the beach. I just saved up. I took my vacation. So, but if we're in the community and we're talking and we having discussions and we doing stuff like this in our community, talking about why we need to boycott this or don't go to this state or why we need to do this on our side of town, or if we got that mindset already from our everyday life, when we hear, oh, they doing what in Florida? Oh yeah, no, I ain't even going. I was gonna go, So we have to build that mindset locally, and like they always say, your local starting, your politicians start locally. Everything
Mhm.
starts locally, and it grows to worldwide. And that's why a lot
Right.
of groups above us. Why? Because they started their households. They got this mindset. They got the way that they move. The Jewish people got the way that they operate. It's not commercialized. They started
Right.
from birth. Like from birth, these are our rules. These are our standards. You're a great person. This is what you're born into. Boom. And that's how
Yeah.
they start. They start serious
Right.
business from birth. They about business. They're about making sure that people stay on top. Like they not here to play. They not, oh, he's just a little baby. Let him play. He's just a little, like,
No, you're right.
yeah.
Well,
That's how we're attacking it. And like I
yeah.
always
No,
say,
my.
people are way ahead of us because of the way they're
No,
born.
you're right.
They're born into
And see, I wasn't born into that. I was born into this is what you gonna do, what you need, what you have to do. It wasn't no let her play.
it.
It was equip her, give her the skills that she needs. I think that was at the forefront of my dad's mind.
Yeah.
And then I think my mom wasn't so much like that, so maybe she didn't see it. It took me probably a while to actually see it. Um, the think tank that I had, the Central Texas think tank, when I had that, was no paperwork on that. You didn't need paperwork for. It was just a group of uh, what community minded people coming together to solve problems. Well, no paper on us. They couldn't do nothing with us. Colleen Daily Herald, the only thing Colleen Daily Herald could do was make sure they never reported on anything we did. At first, they did. And then I was at a Kwanzaa event and they talked to everybody but us because they had already said, no, no, they are not authorized. But we weren't looking for their authorization. We needed Black people. We needed people in general who were concerned about Black issues because it was Black people at the table to come together and have some solutions, put things in place just like that. And they need a piece of paper for that.
Nah.
It's a think tank, just a group of people come together to do this thing right here. That's it. So I was very proud of that. Other people probably thought we need some paper from the man. No, we don't need no paper. We need to be handling our business and doing what we need to do and what we can do.
And that's why when I posted that think tank, like I don't know, I think like a couple days after that I posted the flyer. I was watching Black Panther stuff, and I was like, I think I'm doing this wrong, and that's why I canceled.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
I'm making it more now. Like I'm gonna reach out to you. I'm gonna reach out to the serious people. I don't want just anybody coming
Hmm.
talking about whatever they talking about. I want really people. And this is what I told Van this the other day. I want to. I mean, it's some people like deal with the college people that just starting or whatever. But the people that I really connect with, the people I really deal with, the people that want to say quote unquote they want to get on board or they want to do this. I need to see it some form that you
Hmm.
live that life. You have to live it in some
Some
form.
receipts.
I need something. I don't need
No,
I don't
no,
need you
yeah, I'm with you.
to be a part of the CEO Youth League, and I've never seen you do anything with kids in your life. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, like,
How that's gonna work? No, you got to protect. We already talked about that.
yeah.
You have to protect it. Okay, so
So
we got to get
we
off
gonna
this.
wrap it up.
We got to wrap it up.
As we wrap it up, tell us, give us some last words for tonight.
Oh wow, last words. Ma'at, balance, be open. A closed, You can't put anything in a closed hand. Okay, so stay open. Understand that there are two sides. Be convinced on your side, and then understand that you are in progress. You're not today where you will be tomorrow, 10 years from now. And I promise you, you will learn, you will grow, you will change, you will develop, you will grow. Be confident in your truth as long as your truth lands on the side of love and liberty. Okay? Anything that have you all tied up in a woody whatnot, let that go. Let that go. Okay.
Oh,
Anything that got you bound up, you don't want that. Your truth should be your freedom, and
that's
allow other people to see that freedom in you. Okay. So my aunt, be balanced.
and I want to say happy 35th anniversary, right? You know,
Tomorrow, yes, 35.
tomorrow, 35. Okay. So
35.
thank you for like I say, thank you for coming on. You know, you could have easily canceled this. I'll be talking to you later on. Well, I'll be congratulating you tomorrow, but I guess later on this weekend or next week, you know, I'm gonna leave you alone this week, you know. But I appreciate I appreciate you coming on, and thank everybody for tuning
Awesome.
in. I'll talk to you soon.
All right. See ya.